Hello Leo, it is my intention to share with you today the reading that is going to give you the map of the energies for July 2017. Now I'm very well aware that I've been leaving you guys abandoned for a while, and it's just that I had to prioritize certain things over others, but I fully intended to come back eventually, and now that I'm here, not only am I going to give you the information regarding July, but also about June. So sit back and relax, and I really hope this understanding further improves your own comprehension of the experiences you're going through. And let's see what comes up. And we start the session so that only the truth and nothing but the truth is shown up, with a touch of love as well. That's always a good idea. And let's see, Leo, what comes up for you. The first reading is going to be only June, because there's not much we can do about the past, that's for sure, but I still think it is a good idea to understand it, because we can learn from it and adapt towards the future. This is the first message. I'm going to draw 3 messages right now. That is going to be the summary of the things that you went through during this time in your life. And thank you for giving me an answer that's clear, direct, concise and precise, so that everything that Leo can know, thus allowing them to make better choices in the future, because it is my honest intention to help you guys out, and if I have the chance to do so, then why not? Right, so the 3 messages are as follows, and this is a summary of your month, Leo. June, not July, this is June. We have the 5 of Wands in reverse and the High Priestess in upright. This is a very good combination of cards. It means that you, for that month, from June, you went on a process that was less about the superficial aspects of your life, less about the conflicts, and more about you being able to be quiet and still and just focus on trusting that you will get where you want to be, or you will understand everything you have to understand. So you focus less on the struggles and the stress of everyday life, and instead of going with that kind of flow, that very conflictive energy, you just kept your center and stayed focused on everything that was going on without getting too involved in it. That's a very good thing. Then we have the 10 of Cups in reverse, which means that it could be possible that the struggles, the stress, the conflicts that you've been going through had been in your family situation. With your partner, with your family, with a very close group of friends, but anything that has to do with emotional relationships on a very close level, I feel that you've been really struggling about it, but you've not let it affect you, which is a great thing. It means that even if you have been in the middle of a conflict, you're not letting it get to you, and that is going to give you lots of wisdom and peacefulness. So June was a month where you overcame any issues you had regarding your family, regarding your close partner. It was a month where you were less and less involved in the fights and more involved with you being okay with who you are, in spite of any kind of differences with very important people in your life. So you learned to be on your own. You learned not to expect anything from anyone, not even your own family, and that's a good thing. That is not a bad thing. That is actually a very good thing, because you know what? Society tells us that we have to respect our elders and we have to follow everyone's advice if they're older and wiser than us. And I'm not going against that. Of course, the elders, and actually not only the elders, everyone deserves respect. That's fair and good. But if someone within your family has a toxic relationship with you, then there is no reason why you should keep that in your life, at least not for the time being. So I see you walking away from any kind of conflicts and saying, alright, you know what, you can disagree with me, but I'm not gonna change my mind about it because I am too awesome for that. Which is just like a deep Leo would do. Then again, I do feel this could have affected you, but it is not letting influence your life in a negative way. So that's a very good thing. What further information I can give you? Look, well, things change a little bit with these 3 cards, because I see you walking away from it in a very wise decision, like I'm not gonna get involved with this. But then, the first 2 cards are good. They mean that you didn't do anything different because you knew beforehand that whatever fighting was going on, you were not gonna be able to convince anyone anyway. Like, there was nothing for you to do to convince this person or this influence to look at the situation from a more optimistic manner. So you said, you know what, I'm not gonna argue, I'm not gonna get involved, I'm not gonna stress myself out, because this is not gonna get itself solved anyway. So I'm just gonna walk away, or I'm just gonna observe what's going on. And that's all fair. But then again, we have the devil here, and I see you very comfortable with this negative influence at the end of the month, which is kind of worrisome. I do feel this is the right way to go. I do feel that you taking a step back and not getting involved in any fights or arguments is a good thing to go. But then again, when I see the devil upright, it could be that you're not defending yourself in a position where you should, or you're not looking at the problem right at its core in a way to turn it around or transmute it, but instead you're just saying, this is all I can do. There's nothing else I can do. And that's a good thing to do when you are overwhelmed by something or someone, but there's always more that could be done if you really wanted to transmute the situation. And that's something I was going to say before. Because I said, you know, if you have a toxic relationship with a family member, then you should not sustain it, not for the time being. That's what I said. And what I meant by that is that right now there's no point to get along with them, because it is a toxic relationship. But you can always transmute your family relationships. That's always a possibility. But the only way for that to manifest is if you actually want it, and if you're willing to go through the inner changes that you have to go through so you can resonate with those people in a more balanced way. But that means internal change. And I see you with the devil here. I see you that you are okay with like not letting these people influence you, but it is a negative energy still. So you may want to take a look at it. What are the 3 things I can tell you to finish this reading about June and give you a very solid and thorough understanding of the energies that played in your life? We have the 7 of Swords, which means, see, this is a mix. This is a mix, because when I take a look at these 3 cards, it says that, yes, you were correct in taking a step back, but you were correct, because the only reason why you couldn't change the situation was because you thought that there was no way to change the situation in the first place, which is easier than trying to change the situation. And I know you are following me here. I know that if you think about it, it's way easier to say, well, there's nothing for me to do here, rather than taking an active role in seeing what's going on, how can you transmute it, and if it is not possible, how to communicate that in a way that's very truthful and that everyone is aware. What are you doing and the reasons why you are doing that? It is not because you're running away. It is not because you are avoiding any kind of responsibility or influence you could have. Because you're saying it, basically. You're saying, you know what, I cannot really handle this situation anymore because A, B, C reasons, and unless we take a look at this and we really fix this or figure this out together, then you might as well have your own way and I will have my own way. What I can see from these cards is that you were very fixed in your perspective, which is a good thing because it is upright. However, there were some things you could have done better, and I don't mean to offend you, I really don't. Like, how can I explain this to you in a deeper understanding? I'm gonna draw you 2 extra cards, because from these 3 cards I can tell you that you just dropped this subject, this topic that was hurting you. You were just like, you know what, fuck it, this is not worth the effort. This is too much. I don't care about this anymore. And that's a good thing, and at the same time something you might to reconsider, because it is a good thing because it gives you space to breathe. It might be something you might reconsider because you may actually care about that situation deep down inside of you, and you turning a blind eye is only out of frustration because you're too rigid in your thinking. So because I want to be sure, sorry, the cards were not showing up. So because it is ambiguous situation, I draw you 2 more cards. You have the 7 of Swords here at the end of the reading, which means that there are some illusions you were waking up from, some ways of your thinking that were actually hurting you. Then we have the Emperor, which means that it was a month for you to be very resolute and make your own choice regarding your own lifestyle. That's a very wise thing to do. But then we have these 2 Pentacles reversed here, which means that you are leaving everything behind. You're letting go of everything. You're not concerning yourself with the state of affairs that is going to happen in your old past, because you are now looking at your future. And the 2 cards I can tell you at the end are the Hangman in reverse and Death in reverse, which confirms what I was saying before, that you had a problem. If I'm getting this reading right, Leo, and this is what I want to tell you, there was a problem, an emotional disagreement or instability in your family or with a very close partner, and you saw this problem as something that could not be fixed, could not be influenced, could not be changed, to the point that you said, you know what, I'm leaving, whatever, I don't care about this, peace, and you peaced out. And just to be honest, I believe there could have been more things you could have done. I believe that you released this topic too soon, that there is another way to go about things, a way where you can control not the actions of the other people, but you can control yourself, your own actions. So they speak from a higher place, a place where you're doing what you can to go on with the change, but not in a bad way or in a distorted way, not in a forceful way. You are embracing the change, not imposing it in front of others. And that sounds very, like, that's a very delicate thing to say, because if I say embrace the change and not impose it, then you will say, because you have the Emperor here, you will say, well, I don't have to embrace the change or have other people agree with me. I will just decide what I want, and if someone else doesn't like it, well, that's their problem, not mine. And yeah, you're right in that. I totally support you. I completely and utterly support you, Leo. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to tell anyone what you are doing or anything. You know, it's your own deal, it's your own business, it's your own life. No one else has anything to say about that. However, you still have emotional relationships, you still have emotional ties, and sometimes it's not about pleasing the other person, it's about you being able to be more honorable and more determined and truthful in your actions and speak from a higher place that will lead you to a situation where both of you will benefit with mutual understanding. But that can only happen if you're willing to go through the effort. And I don't feel you're willing. Like, maybe this situation has been going on for too long and you're tired about it, or maybe the other person is really stubborn and you really feel that she's not gonna be convinced or he's not gonna be convinced or anything. So why try it? Don't try it because of them, do it because of yourself. Don't try to change their posture. Do it so you can express yourself, who you really are, so you can give them a chance to get to know the real you, basically. Because if you do it like that, if you're very open about your way of thinking and you're very honest and not judgmental, but rather communicative, like, I want to tell you what I'm doing because I feel that if you knew about it, it would be better for both of us. And let's say the other person doesn't really want to listen to you, then you can say, well, I tried telling you this, but you're not willing to listen to me, so I might as well not waste time because this is not working out. And I don't really want to waste my time doing this thing over and over again, so it is not worth it. I'm gonna be here for you if you want to talk about this, but in any other way, I think it is better if we just part ways. When you say that, you're not saying it to convince the other person, you're saying it because that's how you feel. And you're letting the other person know because you care about them anyway. So at least they can know who you are. That's just something I wanted to share with you. So you have the Page of Cups in reverse and the 8 of Swords. You have the 9 of Swords in reverse and the Devil again. It speaks about you dealing with a very powerful negative influence in your life. A very powerful, very negative influence that you're trying to overcome. But for some reason or another, no matter how many times you try, there is just not getting to this person. So she's or he is really getting on your nerves, and I completely understand that. When I take a look at this, what I said before must have been very insulting to you or something like that. What the hell are you talking about, dude? You don't really know this person. I do. Like, you don't really know them as I know them better, and there's no way this person is ever gonna change. Again, don't try to change them. Don't try to do things for them. Do them for yourself. Do them so you can be at peace, you can be released, and so you're not suffering. You have to do this, like tell the devil you don't want to be with them anymore. Let's see how it reacts. If it reacts badly or positively, who cares? Like, you did it because of yourself. And then you let them decide how they're going to take the information that you just gave them. They can either reject it, or they can either embrace it, or at least say, I need some time to think about it. Then we have the... yes, this makes complete sense, Leo. At the first part of the month, you will be thinking about this whole issue, like, how can I do this? How can I fix it? How can I turn it around? How can I go about this? But then during the middle of the month, you will decide to just enjoy the time you're spending together in the best way and not say anything. And you will be quiet. And you will shut up about your whole opinion on things because you want to let it go. You are acting from the place of, this person is not going to change, so I might as well just enjoy their company for what they are. And then you will keep quiet, which is, again, it is not a bad choice. It is a very decent choice. The one you're making about being quiet and just enjoying the time. That's why the cards are upright. But here lies a challenge that you're not really taking because you think the devil is too powerful for you. So you're keeping your truth to yourself, masquerading as, I just want to enjoy. I just want to enjoy. And I don't really think you're enjoying this person's company, but it's your choice. If you want to do it like this, if you want to go on like this, that's also valid. Because the High Priestess, she knows that there is a time and a place for everything, and maybe now's not the time. And that's what you're thinking, and if you're thinking like that, you will be right. There will be another time to vanquish this old demon. However, because my intention is to actually help you wake up from any kind of illusion, I can tell you there is a better way. And that better way means clear and direct communication, a heartfelt communication, right about the truth with this devil, so everything can be settled once and for all. But let's see what my three best advices actually are before we go into this reading. I don't think I explained this. This reading is the Pillars of Mercy. This reading explains to you the month of July in the best 3 possible questions. What are the invisible energies you will go through? The invisible energies Leo is going to go through the month of July is you trying to overcome a challenge that seems impossible, but you are really trying to find a way for it to stop affecting you. What are the actual energies you will go through? You will try to enjoy your time together and just be quiet because there's no point arguing, so whatever, who cares, you know, I'm just gonna observe and wait patiently until something shows up. That's the way you will act during July. And what are my three best advices? 2 of Swords. You're not really enjoying your time, Leo. You're not really enjoying your time with this person, I can tell. And you're looking for the best way to get out of it without hurting him, her, them, or trying to get along with them even though you don't really like their company very much. So you're actually forcing yourself so you can... I'm not judging Leo, you know, like I'm not speaking from a place of, oh, you're doing this wrong. I'm honestly not. This is my attempt to show you the facts from a different perspective so you can decide for yourself what the best course of action is. So what I can tell you right now, my best advice is you are trying to decide something that cannot be decided. You are trying to think about something that cannot be thought because there's no way out in your mind. And we can see that right here. What a coincidence. You're really trying to make this work, but it will never work the way it is working right now because the roots are false. You're pretending to get along when you actually don't. So instead of being quiet, how about you open up and you start expressing your disagreements or your difference in opinions with the person so that everything can be cleared up, because truth reveals everything, and once everything is revealed, darkness becomes light. That's the way it works. But you see, to go into light, you need courage, because you will have to speak up your truth, and that's gonna be nasty if this person doesn't like listening to you. But what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna be tolerating this existence for who knows how long? Are you gonna forget it and just toss it aside and then never again look into it? Which is also valid, could be. Or are you going to take this as a chance for you to evolve and go beyond yourself and your limitations? That's the real challenge. Whatever you decide, fine by me. I completely support you. Because you're gonna have the information beforehand, so you will make the best choice anyway. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Being quiet isn't gonna help you out. It's just gonna keep you quiet. It's just gonna keep you peaceful inside. Like, you have this talent for this not to really affect you. It is making you question yourself. It is making you miserable in a way, but it is not disrupting your inner balance. So in that sense, you're neither good nor bad. You just are, which is not the way to go. It is not the way to go. This attempt, the way you are trying to live life right now, will amount to nothing. Because you're trying to make something unsustainable work, it will eventually collapse. So I'm just saying this so you are aware that you need to change your approach. There is a clear need to change your tactics, because you will not tolerate this forever. No matter how much you try, you are dealing with a very powerful energy, a very powerful negative energy. And unless you're very wise, and I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, I'm speaking from a place of truth, unless you're very wise, very centered, and very clear in your thoughts, this energy could very well overwhelm you, and that's not the idea. But that overwhelming will not happen if you change your approach. And then we have the Hangman, which means that you are basically doing the best you can, and that's really like valuable, you know. That's really, I can really appreciate that. You are literally doing the best you can with this kind of company. That's not wrong, but I feel that you're being too passive. If you ask me, I feel with this card that you're being too passive, where you should start speaking your truth, or at least releasing yourself from this influence and not tolerate it anymore. Because you know that's the only way to vanquish the devil. Let it go. Ignore it. Release it. Who cares? Like, whatever, you know? That's the way to vanquish it. But if you want to transmute it, you have to realize that this is an aspect of yourself which is expressing yourself in an exterior performance, so that you have the chance to look at it into the eyes and rise above it, so you can become a better version of yourself, basically. What can I tell you? The three cards at the end of this reading that's going to sum up everything before we go into the third reading, which is a very important, although short one. Four of Swords reversed, the Star reversed, and the Seven of Swords reversed. Right, so what I can feel from this card combination, Leo, is that this is an issue that really is like on the verge of affecting your psychological well-being. Like, you're really hanging in there, very close to falling, you know, very close to snap out of it, very close to saying, all right, this is enough. This is literally, all right, I can't take this anymore. So this is something that is worrying you. This is something that is not letting you sleep at ease. Even though you're trying to overcome it, it is proving to be a challenge. But this is a beautiful star. In spite of everything I told you before, that you should find a way, a different approach or anything, and that you were keeping too quiet because you rather enjoy the time you had together instead of arguing, which I said wasn't a good decision, the star tells you that eventually things will work out just fine. which is a very interesting thing to say after all of the things we've been talking about in this session about you having to reconsider your approach. They are still telling you things will work out in the end. So it is a point of agreements. Agreements in what? In that this is helping you out, but not in the way you are thinking. If you really wanted to accelerate the process, you would have to speak up your truth. But being silent also helps. It helps you being peaceful and quiet within, so that whatever happens without can be solved without your needing or your efforts. It's just that it is not gonna work as fast or as effective as you wish, because there are things that will be left unsaid. There are secrets that will be kept hidden to yourself. The very secrets that could become truth if you spoke it up are gonna be kept hidden. And it's just that I feel that whatever you could say would help both of you, or all of you involved. No, I don't know how many of you are exactly, but whatever you have to say could really, really help the process of growth of everyone involved. But it is true that you facing this situation could trigger it to become something worse, which is what is making you decide, I will just step back and not do anything about it, because I would rather just the process take itself time for it to evolve until a better opportunity is here. For now, there's nothing for me to do. And that's a choice you are making. That's a choice you are making out of your free will. I'm here to tell you that it is a good choice. It is going to help you out in reaching this place of opportunity. But I also have to tell you that things could go in a different direction if you were willing in speaking up and confronting the situation. Difficult decision, very difficult decision. It depends on your context, whether or not speaking up is a good idea or a terrible idea. So I want you to consider both options and in the end follow your intuition to whatever it may lead you, because you are wiser in your life than I am. Thank you for giving me the truth, all the truth and nothing but the truth, because it is my honest intention to guide and help Leos in their time, and if I had the chance to do so, then why not? So what can I tell you in the end that is really, really, really gonna help you out, Leo? These are the 3 keys of liberation that are basically meant to give you something to contemplate on, and if you contemplate on it enough, I can guarantee you, if they are followed, you will be feeling better before the end of the month. You will. But it's up to you, because these things sometimes are very challenging. And sometimes people are not up to them, and that's completely fine. I don't want to force anyone to follow what I say. I just want you to consider it for your own well-being. What are the 3 things I can tell you right now, Leo? The first key of liberation is Queen of Discs. Certainly, it is a good idea for you to not be so committed, not be so focused on getting exactly everything you want. The Queen of Discs reverse is a queen that really takes a step back from the earthly realm she has created, and she looks at it with a very thoughtful eye, like, is this really worth it or not? No, you know what, this is not worth it, I'm gonna change it, I'm gonna go somewhere else, I'm gonna create something new, I'm gonna do something exciting, you know, I'm not gonna go with this path again, I'm gonna go do something new. And that's a good thing for you. That's a very good decision. It is gonna give you some distance from whatever situation is affecting you, so it allows you to have the right perspective when looking at it again in the near future. Then you have the Princess of Swords, which is also, you know, this is a good thing, and this is something you have to consider. The way you are thinking is too rigid, is too set in stone, is too self-destructive. And I could reach the point of saying that you're being too absolute in your posture, like you are either with me or you are against me. Instead of being more open-minded and say, yeah, you're against me, but I would like to understand why. Like, what are the things that are really making you say the things you're saying or disagree with me? And not so I can argue back. That's not the intention. You are not wanting to understand the other person so you can argue back. That's not the idea. The idea is to really honestly understand the other person so you can get to know them, the way they are thinking. Why are they thinking the way they are thinking, and why what they're saying is true for them. So you can sympathize with them, so you can connect with them. So through mutual understanding, you are left in a better place. This is saying that you are being too rigid in your thinking and not open-minded enough. And at the end we have lust in reverse, which means, could mean two things, Leo. It could mean that you are lacking passion, you are lacking focus, you are lacking obsession even with the things you want. Like maybe you want more passion in the goal you want to manifest. Like if you really want to change, you would find a way to commit. So if you're not committing, it's because you're lacking investment in the situation. Maybe you don't care about the other person enough. Maybe you actually don't really love them, or don't really, that's not really about love. But it is about lust, it is about passion, it is about wanting it so badly that you are not afraid to go after it. It doesn't matter the challenges, you will go after it. So one possible way to interpret this is that you have to realize that in reality you don't really like the thing as much as you want, or as much as you say you want it. Which is a good thing. It means you're recognizing that this is not as important as you thought, so better to let it go. Good. But it could also mean that you are too focused on what you want, and being so focused on what you want makes you rigid, makes you closed-minded, makes you not willing to listen to other people and just being focused on your own. Which is a very interesting result in the end, because it means that your reading, your whole reading, was a very ambiguous message. It could either mean you realizing you don't love someone as much as you felt you did, so you're letting it go, dropping it completely, although there are some missing steps. Or it could mean that there is something you really do care about, but you're too passive to do anything about it because you have given up hope, basically. Whichever of the two meanings, I leave you to your own intuition to decide. But I'm gonna give you these last two messages to help you out in your own intuition process. The Aeon and the Star reversed. Who are you, Leo? Are you willing to fight for what you want? Are you willing to do something about it? Are you willing to give it your best shot? Not because you care about the result. It is not about the result. It is about who you are. Are you someone who's going to fight no matter the odds? Or are you someone who says, you know what, because I don't really have any guarantees, I'm not going to do it. I really care about the person, but I don't care enough to do something about it. That's one possibility. Certainly with the Star, you know, this is funny because you got the Star upright and now you get the Star reversed. It is a very difficult message to process. And if I had to say something about this Star in reverse, is that the way you are thinking is gonna block any help you get from outside. If you are thinking in a very rigid, very passive way, nothing will happen. However, if you let go of appearances and you realize who you are and the things you can do through your decisions, I feel hope is still there for the situation. So it's up to you. Maybe that's why the situation is ambiguous, because it is not yet decided. You still have time to turn things right. But whether things are correct or not is entirely dependent on your approach. And if your approach is too passive, then I don't think that's gonna work in the end. It is gonna be fine, like, because you got the Star in upright before, it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be a terrible outcome because you're keeping quiet, and that's always good. But if you really want the situation to be okay, if you really want it to become what you want it to become, more participation and truthfulness is required from you. So I leave you with that. Very, very interesting reading you got, Leo. It certainly speaks about your free will to decide whatever outcome it is that you want. If you have a situation that is still undecided, I encourage you to take a look at it from a second perspective and just beyond thinking, you know, beyond what you are thinking about. This is impossible, this is not possible, this is too difficult, I'm not the person that could do that, whatever it is. Beyond the realm of possibilities, I just want to ask you, what would you really love to happen? What would you really enjoy? What would really make you happy? Like, this is exactly what I wanted. And it was worth fighting for. Because I feel that's going to be the question that is going to help you out the most. Through that question, you will find out what it is that you really want. And through that answer, the decision will be clear, will be crystal clear. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me and for trusting my words, because it is my honest intention to help you out, Leo. And I wish you the very best. If you want to have a personal reading, you can always contact me through the mail which is right in the description box below. Take good care. Peace.